Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
We'll talk about it later. And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Kindred Varsity Field. Kindred Vikings taking on Grafton Post 41. Kindred Vikings being Post 117. I'm Mike Bernier along with Wendy Bernier, just about ready to start some baseball here. I'll quickly go over the lineups for Grafton. Again, they're Post 41 under head coach Brian Fike. Leading off in pitching, number 3, Trenton Keena. Batting second and catching is Cruiser Burns. Batting third, the center fielder, Tony Villarreal. Batting cleanup and playing at first base is Kyler Droog. And batting fifth and playing at second base is Ty Story. Batting sixth and playing over at third base is Kyan Burns. And batting seventh is a shortstop, number 18, Brody Lillimone. Batting eighth is a designated hitter, Carson Martinez. And batting ninth is a left fielder, Wes Johnson. Chase Warnerovich is the right fielder. He's being DH for. Max Bernier on the mound for the Kindred Vikings, throwing to his battery mate Graham Hess. First pitch. Misses, ball one. Umpires for tonight. Josh Michelson is out on the base pass. Behind the plate is Mr. Bob Barkley. 1-0 the count, just getting underway. We'll go over to the defensive alignments here in a second. Here's a pitch from Max. Couple of close pitches. Ball count is 2-0. Here's the set by Max Bernier. Where's number 7? Throws out of the full windup with nobody on base. And the pitch, swinging a ground ball, chopper over toward the first base dugout. It's foul. Strike one. Over at first base, Kelby Erdman. Second base is Gabe Iverson. At shortstop, Stanley Belaski. And over at third is Jack McDonald. Here's a 2-1 in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And in the left field is Kylan Swenson. Over in center, Brady Baumgarten. And in right field, Carson Getty. And here's a pitch from Bernier, swinging a line drive. Backhanded by Iverson. Throws across the diamond in time for the out. Nice play by Gabe Iverson. And there's one away. Trenton Keena, the pitcher, hits it hard, but he's out. For some reason, I wrote down single on my scorecard. It was a 4-3 putout, one away. And now Cruiser Burns, the catcher, steps to the plate, right-handed hitter. And here's a pitch, off-speed pitch. Missed. Ball one. Already a little bit of chirping from the dugout because they're asking where those pitches are missing. That one was said to be high. Here's a 1-0 pitch, fastball in there for a strike. One and one the count.
I'll do.
And here's a pitch behind the hitter. 2 balls and a strike. Early on, 1 down, nobody out. Max Bernier on the mound. Rocks and fires, fastball grounded hard over towards third. Nice snare by Jack McDonald. Throws over to Kelby Erdman in time for the out. 2 nice plays by the infielders. First Gabe Iverson, now Jack McDonald. Snares a hard hit ball and throws him out. First 2 batters are down. Brings up the center fielder, Tony Villarreal. Also a right-handed batter. Where's number 2? Roam center field. And here's a pitch from Bernier. Off speed, popped up. Straight up, Graham Hess gives chase. Bernier gives chase. Graham Hess finds it and makes the catch.
I couldn't quite get that one, but I got Max's reaction to Graham getting it, so I knew it got caught.
Excellent. A 1-2-3 inning as he foul pops to the catcher. And a 1-2-3 inning for Grafton in the top of the first. Vikings to bat in the bottom of this first inning.
And we have a lot to talk about here tonight. We're celebrating a lot of stuff. We'll tell you all about that. We got a kind of a little shaky start, but we'll talk all about that when we come back from this break.
Flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
For any accounting needs you may have, Todd R. World Certified Public Accountant has you covered. From income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals and businesses. Todd Wold CPA would like to wish the best to the teams competing and thank the coaches and players for their hard work and dedication throughout the season on and off the field, as anything can happen every night at the Diamond. For more information, go online to wold-cpa.com. That's wold-cpa.com. Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
And welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Varsity Field. Tonight, like I said, we are celebrating a lot of things here, celebrating our past champions.
The past champions that we're celebrating tonight, the 2014 and the 2015 Kindred Vikings Babe Ruth State Championship teams, and as well as the 2019 American Legion Baseball Legion A champions from 2019. So
Class
we're gonna,
A, yeah.
Yeah, Class A. So we're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of interviews tonight, and we're going to have some fun.
They have a nice display table set up along the concourse back by the concession stand. We took some pictures of it, and you can find those after tonight's ball game. We'll post that up on Facebook, and then we're going to do some interviews with some of those past champions coming up later.
On the mound for Grafton is Trenton Keena. Where's number 3 is a left-handed pitcher. Throwing to his battery mate, Cruiser Burns. Some names are just fun to say, and he's got one of them. First pitch is a ball to Brady Baumgarten. Second pitch is in there for a strike. It'll be Brady Baumgarten, Carson Getty, and Kylan Swenson to bat in the first inning. We'll get to the rest of the lineup here shortly. 1-1 pitch from Keena. Fastball outside, 2 balls and a strike. Graham Hess bats cleanup. He does the catching. Stanley Belaski's batting 5th. He's at short. Gabe Iverson, the second baseman, batting 6th. Here's a pitch. Fastball down low. 3 balls and a strike. Max Bernier is pitching. He's batting 7th. Kelby Erdman over at first base, batting 8th. And Jack McDonald bats 9th over at third base. Here's a 3-1 delivery from the southpaw. Swing and a miss. Good, healthy swing by Brady Baumgarten. Kindred Vikings with plenty of speed to start off the lineup. Here's a ground ball chopped up to the shortstop, Lillimone. He fires across the diamond in time for the out. 6-3 put out. Nice play by the shortstop, Brody Lillimone. I don't know how tall the man is, but to call him a shortstop seems kind of weird.
He has a tall drink of water over there, short.
It's got to be at least 6'6", I would say. Here's a pitch to Carson Getty. It's down low, ball 1. Carson Getty wears number 27 with these fancy new jerseys. I have 25 written down. Here's a fastball up. 2 balls and no strikes. Nice pinstripe jerseys by the Vikings, brand new.
Yeah, the boys had a group chat going on about them, and they got a little bit of input on them.
Here's a 2-0. It's down low. 3 balls and no strikes to Carson Getty. And here's a 3-0 set in the pitch. Fastball in there, strike 1.
I do believe the pinstripes are a favorite of Mr. Kylan Swenson. His contribution to the pretty jerseys.
And here's a 3-1 fastball down low. Carson Getty draws a walk. I don't think that pitch hit him, but either way he gets first base, either by the walk or the hit batsman.
And if you look real close and notice, Carson's left sleeve is slightly different than his right, so they got to work on that a little bit. Little mix up there. It's all in the details.
Kylan Swenson to bat. Swing and a miss. Graham Hess would be on deck. Kylan Swenson, left fielder. Getty has some speed, but sometimes a left-hander will kind of neutralize that speed. It depends on their move. A little tougher to steal against a left-hander. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Looks like the pitcher, Trenton Keena, just rears back and fires fastballs in there. I'm sure he's got some off-speed breaking balls and so on. Here's the 0-2. This one's down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nice block by the catcher, Cruiser Burns. Getty on at first. 1 out. Early goings. Bottom of 1. And a throw over to first. They got him picked off. And just like that, very tough to steal against these left-handers. And here's a throw back down. Getty's making this a contest here. And now he's going to fall down and get tagged out. So it's a pickoff. Caught stealing. 2 down. And I'm not even going to guess. It's a 1-3, probably 6-1, 6, 5, whatever put out.
Around.
He's out. 2 down. Here's the pitch to Swenson. Here's a high fly ball into right field. Warner Rovich goes over, the lefty, goes over and makes a catch, so the Vikings don't get a hit. They did get a base runner, but it's erased on the pickoff, so they bat the minimum. And so at the end of 1, we head to the top of the second inning. It's 0-0 on yourliveevent.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
And welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Varsity Baseball here in Kindred, North Dakota, going against Grafton this evening.
Beautiful weather day, wind blowing in from left center field. Max Bernier on the mound for the Vikings. He'll face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Kyler Droog, Ty Story, and Kyan Burns. Kyler Droog, the batter, takes ball 1. Droog is spelled D-R-O-O-G. Ball 1 to him. And here's the set. And the pitch by Bernier. Fastball, swing and a miss. Actually looked like a curveball. Bernier throws a fastball, curveball, and an off-speed pitch.
Hard to tell from up here, really.
Here's a 1-1 set. Out of the full windup. In there for a strike. Man, Grafton, post 41, has some tall ball players. Kyler Droog, prototypical first baseman, tall, slender, stands in the box, closed stance. Here's the 1-2, fastball away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now here's a 2-2 set by number 7. And the pitch, swing and a fly ball, hit hard down the left field line, but it's way foul, so way out in front of that. Hit about the 3rd evergreen from the south. Here's the 2-2. Misses inside.
Yeah, it's kind of out there in the open. I don't think that gentleman will have any trouble finding that and getting it to the concession stand for his little bit of Laffy Taffy.
And here's a 3-2. Off speed, swinging a little chopper out in front of the mound. Bernier has it. Fires over to first, a little high, but Erdman's there to make the catch in a small collision out there. Nothing intentional. The throw kind of took Kelby off the bag a little bit. He was able to hold on, make the catch, stay on the base, and record the out. Looks like everybody's okay.
Yep, Kelby's getting his hat back on. The runner's returned and putting his helmet up.
Ty Story, the second baseman, bats. Fifth batter in the lineup. And the pitch from Bernier. Fastball swinging a pop fly foul. I think it's out of play.
Let's go with the foul ball. Bring him over to the concession stand, get your treat, and then bring him over to the first base dugout on this little ball retriever on the patio.
Here's the 0-1 set. By Bernier. Again, throwing out of the full windup. No base runners allowed yet. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Off speed. Now here's a pitch from Bernier. Looks in, gets a sign from his catcher, Graham Hess. And the 0-2. Off speed, down low.
Good pitch, good place.
Now here's a 1-2 set. And the pitch. Fastball.
Oh, good pitch.
Oh, well,
Good spot.
like I said, it's a little harder to see up here than the umpire. He's a little closer on it, I suppose.
It's a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now here's a 2-2. And the pitch. Off speed. Right down the middle. Called strike 3. First strikeout for Bernier.
Bernier gets strikeout number 1 on the
And there's 2 down.
second out of the inning. Brings up number 2.
Kyan Burns steps to the plate.
Kyan Burns.
He's the third baseman. Where's number 10? Right-handed hitter. And here's the set and the pitch. Off speed, way outside, ball 1. Bernier looks in, rocks, fires, fastball, nearly hit him. 2-0. This next pitch will be Bernier's 25th. He only threw 10 in the first inning. Here's a 2-0. Off speed, in there for a strike. I like the home plate umpire, Bob Barkley. I like his strike call. He raises that right hand.
So you know what's going on.
Straight up in the air, and it's quick. And here's a 2-1. Off speed, in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Go, Max. Come on, Sam, come in.
Bernier licks on. He's going to rock, fire, fastball, swinging a little grounder out towards shortstop. Pulaski's got it. Fires across the diamond in time for the out. 2-1-2-3 innings to start this ball game, and the Vikings will come to bat in the bottom of the second inning. We're tied at 0 on yourliveevent.com.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Express Lane Marathon in Kindred is your neighborhood convenience store where convenience meets quality, whether you're fueling up with Marathon's top-tier fuel or grabbing a quick snack. Express Lane has you covered. From hot stuff pizza, smash hit subs, premium soft serve ice cream, gas, diesel, and propane exchange. Make sure to use your Marathon app and get 7 cents back per gallon all summer long. Now offering premium 91 non-ethanol fuel. Express Lane is your friendly and locally owned convenience store.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Varsity Field, where Kindred is taking on Grafton this evening.
Kindred Vikings send up the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. It'll be Graham Hess, Stanley Belaski, and Gabe Iverson to face the southpaw. The pitcher, Trenton Keena, I should say. Keena is spelled Keena. He got a ground out, a walk, and a caught stealing and a flyout. So he faced a minimum in the first inning. No hit so far. And here's a pitch, ball 1 to the catcher, Graham Hess. Here's a pitch, fastball, swing and a foul, back out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike. Keena threw 15 pitches in the first inning. This will be pitch number 18 for him. And the 1-1 misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Now the 2-1 set and the pitch. Fastball outside. 3 balls and a strike.
Mr. Hess and his family added a new fur baby to their family, and she was out here, Miss Mabel Hess.
Wow.
I don't know if you got to meet her yet. I had the honor of meeting her yesterday. Cutest little bug.
Here's a 3-1. It's up high. And he walked him. Graham Hess is aboard.
To bring up number 0, shortstop, Stanley Belaski.
So always fun to see the little kids at the ballpark, but also all the family fur babies too.
Now we're gonna have Sawyer Hess run for his brother as a courtesy runner for the catcher. So Sawyer Hess on.
Number 3, Sawyer Hess.
Sawyer can run, but again he's got to be cautious of that left-handed pickoff move, neutralizing the run game a little bit here. We already had 1 pickoff early in the ball game. Here's a pitch, fastball, swing and a miss by the shortstop. Number 0, Stanley Belaski. Left-hander glances over at first base, and here's a pitch, high pop fly, right side of the infield. It's in foul territory, and it's going to reach out of play down Golf Cart Road down the first base line.
Back by the batting cages it went.
Happens to reach the construction area by the track. Please leave those alone. Do not go into the construction area.
0-2 the count to Stanley Belaski. Here's a pitch, fastball away. Wendy Quiz was just talking about on the PA, talking about the new track being built out back.
Yeah, yep, it's coming along. I've been taking pictures of it as it goes. It's quite an undertaking, quite a project, but it's looking really good. There's some construction, so behind where the camera's view is would be the new running track. So a few foul balls land over there, but we can't quite get in there to get them yet, so we gotta let those go. But a few balls hit it yesterday, and it sounds like solid cement going on.
Here's a 2-2, and he picked him off. That's very close to a balk. It's a 45-degree angle where his right foot can go, and Sawyer Hess will fall down again. It'll be a 1-3-6, 1-3 probably put out. But either way, it's a caught stealing, pick off, and there's 1 away.
Well, they just had practice doing that with Carson, so they kind of had it down, I think.
So 2 walks have been erased via the pickoff. It's a 2-2 count for Belaski. And the pitch, swing and a high pop fly. This is down the third base line, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. The third baseman looks for it, and it lands foul. That was kind of in no man's land. The third baseman, Burns, went out there. Johnson, the left fielder, went out there. Lillimone, the shortstop. Lillimone probably had the best chance at it, but it was just kind of in no man's land. Fortunately for Grafton, it lands foul. Otherwise, that might have been a double for Belaski. Now here's a 2-2 set, and the pitch, swing and a ground ball chopped out to the second baseman. That story, and it's booted out into right center field, and Belaski is on the air. So it's E4, still no hits for the Vikings.
Yeah, Kindred coach Almaris, he is also the high school track and field coach. So he's got to be pretty excited to watch that progress happen right behind the dugout here every day, coming to the ball field and watching that track.
Here's a pitch, fastball away to Gabe Iverson. Gabe playing at second base. Already called his name, made a nice backhand play in the first inning to get the leadoff hitter out of the ball game. And now here's a pitch outside. In fact, that was against the pitcher, Trenton Keena. Vikings have their third base runner, 2 via the walk, 1 now through the error. See if they can keep him on first base or advance him. There's a foul ball. Back to the screen. 2 balls and a strike. Max Bernier is on deck. Coach Josh O'Mara is coaching down the third base line. Nick Eggman coaching down the first base line. And here's a 2-1. Fastball in the dirt. It's going to get away, and that's going to move the runner, Belaski, up to second base on the wild pitch. So the Vikings catch a break. Couple of breaks here. Let's see if they can capitalize. Belaski reaches on the error now, gets to second on the wild pitch, and it's a 3-1 count to number 8, Gabe Iverson. Now here's a pitch from Keena. Fastball, swing, and a miss.
Okay, keep your eye on it. Here you go.
31 pitches thrown by number 3, Keena. Now here's a set. Out of the stretch. Here's a lefty's pitch. Swing and a pop-up foul. It's out of play over the dugout.
Might be in the construction zone too, but they've got lots of them to replace them. So the construction crew can have that one on after this 4th of July weekend.
Here's a 3-2 set. And the delivery from the lefty. He looks back to second. Kicks and fires. Swing and a pop-up. Left side of the infield, right side of the infield. Story is there. He makes the catch, and there's 2 down. That'll bring up number 7, Max Bernier. He's also the 7th batter in the lineup. For Grafton, no runs, no hits, 1 error. For Kindred, no runs, no hits, no errors. Kelbeer Erdman is on deck, should Bernier reach. Here's a set, and the pitch from the lefty. Fastball, swing, and a high fly ball into right field. The lefty comes on. Warner Rovich comes on and makes a catch, and there's 3 down, and that's the side for the Vikings in the bottom of the 2nd. No runs, there were no hits, there was an error. 1 runner left on base at the end of 2. We're tied at 0 on yourliveevent.com.
Selling or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial sales and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Varsity Baseball. Playing Grafton tonight, and it is a special night as we celebrate our past champions this evening.
Yes, the 2014 and 2015 alumni from the Babe Ruth Championship days, and also the 2019 Class A American Legion baseball champions for the Kindred Vikings. So a lot of celebrations going on tonight. We're going to have some interviews later. Michael Hall's going to come up and join us later this ball game, and
yeah, I did see him just enter the ball field just a little bit ago.
Here's a curveball from Bernier to the shortstop, Brody Lillimone. He's in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Here's a pitch from Max. Off speed, popped up near the first base dugout, but it's going to reach out of play. Right on top of the press box. Quickly 0-2 the count. To the tall shortstop. Bernier looks on, gets his sign from his catcher, Graham Hess. And now the pitch. Off speed, swinging a line drive, hit hard up the middle. Gloved a little bit by Belaski. Nice diving attempt by Belaski, but it'll be a base hit up the middle. And just on cue, we just started talking about Michael Hall joining us, and he appears. Ask and you shall receive. Michael Hall joining us.
I try to deliver.
No stranger to your live event. He did some games for us last year in Kindred. Here's a pitch from Bernier. It's outside, ball 1.
Yeah, it's good to be back up in the booth.
We're tied 0-0. Celebrating the celebration of championships. Here's a pitch from Bernier. In there for a strike. Runner on first. Nobody out. Max Bernier on the mound, throwing from the stretch for the first time. And throw over to first base. And we're joined by Michael Hall. You were a member of the 2015 Babe Ruth Championship and the 2019 Legion Championship. So what are some of your favorite memories from those days?
Oh, that's a great question. There's a lot to pick from. You know, summer baseball played a big role in my life growing up. You know, I remember for that 2015 championship, we stayed in Mott, North Dakota. We stayed in a hunting lodge, and we just had the whole team, I think 15 guys jam-packed into a lodge, and just spent the whole week kind of bonding together while staying focused and playing the games, and it was a lot of fun that year. So
again, we're being joined by Michael Hall, who is a member of the 2015 Babe Ruth Championship and the 2019 American Legion Championship in Kindred. Carson Martinez was a designated hitter. He was a batter. He goes down on strikes. Bernier records his second strikeout. There's one down, runner on first, throw over to first base is up the line a little bit. Kelby's got to do some fine dancing to avoid the base runner and make sure he catches the baseball. So good job by Kelby Erdman over at first base. Wes Johnson is the batter now. He's in left field.
And then I think that 2019 championship, that one was a lot of fun. We went out to Bismarck. And, you know, our rivals that year had been the Fargo Jets the whole year. I think we pretty much split with them even. And they beat us in the third game. And we fought our way back to the championship. And then we got to we got 2 wins in a row, so we got a double dip there as Erdman makes the play over there at first.
Yeah, 2 outs now as Wes Johnson, the 9th batter, grounds out 3 unassisted to Kelby Erdman for the second out. Again, being joined by Michael Hall and talking about the championship teams that you were on. Had to feel good. What did it mean to you growing up and playing for Kindred Youth Baseball all the years of the rookies level, the Pee-wees, Babe Ruth, and, of course, Legion?
I think we took a lot of pride in summer baseball, which, you know, it wasn't always common. You know, sometimes you see people talk about summer baseball, and it's just kind of the fun thing they do in the summer, and they're focused on other things. But we worked really hard. I remember every day in practice, we were out for 2 to 3 hours in the heat, you know, no matter the conditions, and we took a lot of pride in what we did. And I think really that 2019 group, we just worked so hard to kind of live up to the athletes that came before us, because there were some great athletes, especially that 2017 class. And we just worked really hard every day, and we had great coaches who were committed, and just everyone bought in on that program. It was like the definition of Viking pride to me. So it was a lot of fun.
Here's Trenton Keno, the batter. He's the pitcher. He's got a 1-2 count on him. Trenton Keno grounded out his first time. He's 0 for 1. So here's a 1-2 set. And the pitch, off speed, misses away. Now finish that Jet story. You're talking about taking on the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had been battling them all year, and then we lost to them the third game of the championship of the state tournament, and then we fought our way back to the state championship. We beat them in game one, and then I remember there was a big rain delay. I don't remember if it was before the first game or before the second game, and we kind of just had a powwow as a team, and we're really committed to getting after it, and then we had a great battle with the Jets. It came down to the bottom of the seventh. I remember finding my way on to first base. I think Atlee Ingebertson hit me over to second. And then Andy Fryer came up clutch. I think he had 2 strikes on him, and he hit a line drive right down the left field line. Rounded me in, and I got to score the walk-off run there.
There's a line drive out to right center field, but we have a speedy center fielder by the name of Brady Baumgarten out in center field. We're going to keep it right here. That's the end of the inning. Max Bernier gets a fly out as Trenton Keena flies out to center field for the third out of the inning. And again, we're talking to Michael Hall. So it's a 0-0 ball game. Grafton does come up with a hit that inning, but they leave a man stranded. We head to the bottom of the third inning. We're tied at 0. Talking to Michael Hall. So you're a guy. You've come back to coach at the Kindred level at various levels of Kindred baseball. You've got to call games on different broadcasts, and you help us out in the press box, and you help out at tournaments, and you support the younger players. What brings you back to do those awesome things?
I think it's just, again, it goes back to how much I loved summer baseball growing up and how big of a part of life it was for me, and I wanted to be able to give that back. And then, selfishly too, so right before we went to the state tournament 2019, there's pictures of us with sledgehammers taking down the old dugouts. And I was like, I don't even get to experience this new facility we have. And so coaching allowed me to come back and kind of experience that. And it's just like, it's incredible what this program has done and what Quiz has done and Josh just being so involved and really making it the best experience possible. I think Kindred baseball is like the ideal place. You want to look at how to run a program. I think this is a great place to start, and so it was easy to come back and coach.
Well, it's been great joining you. Can you stay with us for another half inning here at least?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Kelby Erdman will lead off for the Vikings in the bottom of the third inning. It'll be Kelby Erdman, Jack McDonald, then back to the top of the order with Brady Baumgarten. 0-0 ball game. Left-handed pitcher Keena fires a fastball, swing and a miss by Kelby Erdman. We're joined by Michael Hall. Michael, what are you up to nowadays?
Right now I'm in medical school up at Grand Forks at UND. So I'm in my second year of medical school right now and going through classes for the next probably 8 months or so, and then I'll be moving out to Bismarck and starting my clinical rotations then. And so just trucking through medical school right now.
Busy man.
Yep.
1-2 the count to Kelby Erdman. So you got to be a part of 2 different championship teams, a Babe Ruth championship and a Legion championship. Some proud moments for you.
Absolutely.
Here's a ground ball to the shortstop, Lillimone, and he's able to throw Erdman out on a ground out. It's a 6-3 put out. And there's one away. Jack McDonald steps up, the third baseman.
Yeah, those state tournaments, there's I think, everyone always remembers the baseball and the fun parts on the field, but off the field is really where the tournaments are the most fun because you really just get to spend a week with your best friends and all you worry about is baseball, and then in your free time you do whatever you can to have fun, and you find ways to have fun, and some memories that I definitely will never forget from those trips.
So when you're not in the dugout, you're not on the baseball field, and you're at the hotel, are you still kind of talking about baseball?
A little bit. But I'd say the conversation goes anywhere, especially for, there's guys that get on their nerves and they need to talk about anything except baseball to kind of get them out of their shell. So we'll talk about anything.
There's a little looper out into right center field that's going to fall in there for a base hit for Jack McDonald. Just kind of a blooper out into right center field, but good enough to break up the no-hitter and get a base runner on. And back to the top of the order for Brady Baumgarten. He grounded out to short his first time up.
McDonald's a good one to get on. See if he can start his own rally if he steals second here.
A lot of speed up and down this lineup. Here's a pitch from the lefty. Here's a line drive, base hit up the middle. 2 hits on 2 pitches. And the Vikings have something brewing in the bottom of the third. Carson Getty will step up. He walked his first time up, was picked off of first base. So in your playing days, you find it much more difficult to steal against left-handed pitchers?
Yeah, for sure. Because, I think we've seen a couple pickoffs today that fooled Kindred runners, and that has for sure happened to us. You just got to take that short lead, and you never want to, Coach Olmeres would hate to hear me saying this, but it's like he always says, you never guess, but sometimes you're guessing when you have a good lefty on the mound.
Here's a 1-0 pitch from Keena to Carson Getty. It's an off-speed pitch in there for a strike. Did you play any baseball post-American Legion, any amateur baseball or anything like that?
I played a couple games with the Enderlin Indies, which was fun. Definitely a different experience. Just because we didn't have our own amateur group formed in Kindred at that time. So, but yeah, I was actually talking about this with some of the guys that have come back today too, and we were talking about, did you ever play softball or anything like that afterwards? And some of us could never really get into softball because we just wanted to play baseball. It's not the same playing slow pitch softball. So
it sure isn't. Here's a 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes for Carson Getty. Did you ever coach any of these ball players, any of these Legion kids?
I did, yep. McDonald out there. I coached Carson Getty for a little bit. I think Gabe Iverson's down there. Kylan Swenson. Yeah.
Here's a ground ball to the second baseman. Not going to be 2. Carson Getty is way too fast for that. He'll reach on a fielder's choice. Baumgarten is set down over at second base on the 4-6 putout for the second out of the inning. McDonald does reach third base, so runners on first and third. And a big at-bat here for Kylan Swenson. So early in the ball game, but it's 0-0, so a huge at-bat here for Kylan Swenson. Kylan Swenson, you said you coached him. He's a pretty difficult kid to coach, isn't he?
He's just so hard to coach. He never responds well. No, he's
doesn't work hard at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And he's not a talented athlete or anything like that. So.
But very serious individual. I notice him coaching football, baseball. He's all business. Here's a ground ball, base hit into the left field. And the Kindred Vikings take a 1-0 lead just on cue. Kylan Swenson, without any talent, without any hitting ability, no athletic experience whatsoever, releases a base hit into left field. And we're kidding, of course. Kylan Swenson, an outstanding athlete. Played football and basketball and, of course, baseball here. And Kindred Vikings take a 1-0 lead, mainly because of the good luck charm. Michael Hall comes up into the press box.
No, it's fun to watch Kylan and all these guys really as they've grown, because you change a lot from Babe Ruth baseball to Legion baseball.
There's a looper into right field. That's going to fall in there for a base hit off the glove of Story. Here's a throw to third, not in time, knocked down by the third baseman, luckily for Grafton. That does score Carson Getty. It's another RBI single for Graham Hess. And Getty scores from second base. Swenson will go over to third base, and a good strong throw over to third. And now we're going to have a coach's visit. Trenton Keena has been pitching well. He's only thrown 51 pitches. And it's the bottom of the second inning. Kindred Vikings take a 2-0 lead. Again, we're joined by Michael Hall, and it was the 2015 Babe Ruth Championship and the 2019 American Legion Baseball Championship in the state. So what do you think of this team? Have you had a chance to watch this American Legion team this year?
I got to watch them last night. I only saw the second game, but, they played really well. They looked like they're playing smooth baseball. What I liked last night is they took advantage and had some good base running. Pretty good fundamental baseball. I think I only saw one error, and Jack McDonald pitched a great game. So, you always love it when they're doing the little things right, and I felt like I saw that last night.
So Vikings put up a crooked number here in the bottom of the third, take a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the third. Here's a pitch from the lefty Keena. He's facing Stanley Belaski. And the pitch down in the dirt. This should score a run. Here comes Kylan Swenson. So a big base running performance by Kylan Swenson, because he was able to take third on that little looper out into right center field, and that's going to score him a run on the wild pitch. It's 3-0. And I didn't notice this, but Hess was able to reach second base on the play, and now he's being pinch run for by Sawyer Hess. Here's a drive into right, and Warnerovich will be there to make the catch. But the Vikings do come up with 3 runs in the inning, and they lead it 3-0. So Michael Hall's with us. Any final thoughts for us?
No, it's super cool to see the guys back here. I think there's quite a few that haven't seen the stadium since it's rebuilt, and so it's just really fun to have everyone out here, and couldn't have asked for a better night. So thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for joining us, and have a great time, and go down there and help celebrate the championships.
Will do.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Varsity Field, where it is past champions night. We are celebrating the past champions in Babe Ruth and Legion A, and tonight Legion A is playing Grafton.
2, 3, and 4 hitters for Grafton. Post 41, swing and a miss by the catcher, Cruiser Burns. Strike one. Vikings take a 3-0 lead. Pound out 4 hits in the bottom of the third inning. Here's a pitch from Bernier. The 0-1 is grounded foul into the third base dugout fence area. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Wendy, we're joined by Michael Hall. What a great interview.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun to see the guys come back and reminisce a little bit and talk about the field. Some of them haven't played in the facilities or seen the facilities in a while, and some of them have coached the men that are on the field right now too. So it's fun to hear them reminisce and tell stories.
Still 0-2 to the batter. He fouled that last pitch off. And now here's a set, and the pitch from Bernier off speed, outside.
And we did say out on the patio in front of concessions, they do have a display out there. If you have time to come out tonight, it's really cool to look at. I know Coach Almaris, he had to have gone back and pulled some of those off of his room.
Here's a pop-up to the right side. Kelby Erdman calls for it and almost had a collision again down the first base line. Erdman has every right to go make the play. It's up to the runner to kind of get out of the way. So it's a pop-up. We'll call it in fair territory. It's out number 1 of the top of the 4th inning for Grafton post 41. What I found interesting is listening to the stories about off the field, when they're at the tournaments and the hotels. And
although as a mom of one of those someday players, I don't know that I want too many details about off the field, right?
First pitch swinging. Tony Villarreal pops it up to center field. And Brady Baumgarten is there, and very quickly 2 down.
Yeah, some of those stories might be better off not telling Mom, maybe. I don't know. But, it's a really fun time, and the displays out there. I know Coach Almaris pulled some of those off of his wall. He keeps them up during the school year in his room, and that's really cool to watch all year long, too. read those newspaper clippings.
First pitch to Kyler Droog is a ball. 5 in a row set down by Bernier since he gave up the leadoff single in the 3rd inning. Here's a pitch, fastball, swing and a miss. Kyler Droog, he's 0 for 1. He grounded out to the pitcher, Max Bernier. That was to lead off the 2nd inning. Bernier set down the first 6 men he faced and then allowed a single to Lillimone, and now he set down the next 5. Here's the 1-1 over for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Max has thrown 51 pitches. Pitch count looks really good. Over 3 2/3 innings pitched. Here's the pitch. Off speed, swinging a pop-up. Right side of the infield. Gabe Iverson camps underneath it, makes the catch, and 1, 2, 3. Grafton goes down in the top of the 4th inning. Kindred Vikings coming to bat in the bottom of the 4th, leading 3-0 on yourliveevent.com.
For any accounting needs you may have, Todd, our world certified public accountant, has you covered. From income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals and businesses. Todd Wold CPA would like to wish the best to the teams competing and thank the coaches and players for their hard work and dedication throughout the season on and off the field, as anything can happen every night at the Diamond. For more information, go online to wold-cpa.com. That's wold-cpa.com.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Varsity Field, where Kindred is hosting Grafton this evening, and it is also Past Champions Night. We are celebrating some past champions, and they'll have some interviews throughout this ball game for you.
Here's a pitch from Keena. It's ball 1 to Gabe Iverson. 6, 7, 8 hitters. Gabe Iverson, Max Bernier, Kelby Erdman to bat. Bottom of the 4th inning. Vikings lead it 3-0. They took that lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning, pounding out 4 hits. Here's the pitch from Keena. Fastball, swinging a foul back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. 55 pitches thrown by the lefty, Trenton Keena. And here's a 1-1 pitch. Fastball down in front of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Celebration of Champions Night in Kindred here, and a lot of fun. We had Michael Hall come and join us and
more to come.
Tell some stories. Here's a swing and a miss by Iverson.
And it is hot today, but in the stands I see there's a lot of shade creeping up into the stands. So come on out if you can. There's a nice display of the past champions and the best concession stand. I mean, you know, we go to a lot of ballparks and eat a lot of cheeseburgers, but still nothing like the ones here at Kindred Varsity Field. And the ice cream, there's ice cream and ices. Nice selection of ice cream.
Line drive, base hit into right field for Gabe Iverson. I tell you what, Gabe Iverson has been barreling the ball pretty much every time he gets to the plate. Line drive single in the right. And I got Eric Iverson, Gabe Iverson's dad, to the left of me, running the scoreboard, playing the music. Walk-up music for all the players. Max Bernier comes up to bat.
Always keeping the vibe happy and focused. Oh.
So Max Bernier shows bunt. They were trying to hold the ball to see if they were going to bunt, and in the process, the pitcher balked. So Max Bernier does a job of getting the runner moved up to second base without having to throw a pitch.
Big old smile.
Let's see if he just asked to bunt here again. You do have him in scoring position with nobody out, so a couple different philosophies there. You move him up to third. Here's a swing and a foul.
He was swinging hard there.
Nearly took out the on-deck hitter, Kelby Erdman.
Well, and they got a fancy new chair in their dugout, too. Did you see that? Their little rocking chair.
Yeah.
So hopefully no one gets too comfy in that.
That rocker is one that every house had in the 1980s.
It's pretty awesome. The boys went out and did some community service the other day, and that was one of their treasures they found when they were out doing community service, and a gift to the dugout, and they treasure it. But it's hard-working crew. They went out and did some community service, so it's great to see the team do that. Babe Ruth also went out.
Here's a pitch, bunted down the third base line. It's a good one. It's going to be a tough throw over to first, but nice job by the pitcher, Keena. Trenton Keena throws out Bernier. It'll be a sacrifice bunt for Bernier, moving Iverson up to third base. It's a 1-3 putout. 1 out. No at-bat charge to Max Bernier. Moves a runner over to third base for big Kelby Erdman. Erdman's 0 for 1. He grounded out to short. Kelby's got some pop in his bat, and he can drive the ball. Looking to extend this lead in the bottom of the fourth inning. Infield's going to play in for Grafton. Man, I wouldn't want to be a third baseman playing in with Kelby up. Swing and a miss, and he takes a big old hack.
You got to be on your toes.
Because Kelby can barrel it. Here's the 0-1. Fastball, swing and a miss.
Make contact. Make contact.
Jack McDonald on deck. 0-2. And here's the pitch. Fastball outside. It was a nice bunt by Bernier. It was kind of a high fastball, which is a little bit more difficult to bunt. But he was able to get it down. But it was just a brilliant play by the pitcher, Keena. Thought it was going to be an infield single, but Keena made a nice play. Breaking ball outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the lefty pitcher helping himself out. Otherwise, it'd be first and third with nobody out. Here's a 2-2. Fastball away outside and high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 66 pitches thrown now by number 3, Trenton Keena.
Scoring position now. Put it in play.
Now here's the set and the pitch. Fastball missed inside, and Kelby Erdman is aboard after a walk. And that'll bring up Jack McDonald. Jack got the first hit of the ball game for the Vikings, a little looper out into right center field. A blooper, a Texas leaguer, a dying quail, however you want to call it, but it's a base hit. Looks like a line drive in the lineup.
Yeah, I would just stick with base hit. I think that's my level. I'd just say a base hit.
We're going to have a pinch runner for Kelby Erdman. Derek Stone will come into pinch run. Now, Erdman can re-enter the ball game and still play first base. But Stone into pinch run, trying to get some things started with 1 out. That brings up, again, Jack McDonald. And another pickoff attempt over to first. Stone is back in time. That right leg of Keena, he's got it measured just about right. From the pitcher's rubber to the mound, he can't exceed 45 degrees towards the plate. And I don't think he's done it. Here's a ground ball up to short. Lillimone boots it, and everybody's going to be safe. Lillimone is thinking of a double play, so McDonald will reach on the E6. He will get a run batted in. Erdman safe at second. Gabe Iverson comes across to score to make it 4-0 in favor of the Vikings.
Yeah, he was trying to do a little bit more before he quite had the ball in his glove, so just kind of slipped away from him.
Error number 2 for Grafton. Here's a pitch in the dirt to Brady Baumgarten, and that's going to move the runners up. Stone will move into third base. Pinch running for Erdman. It's a wild pitch. McDonald, of course, moves up to second. No runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for Grafton. Kindred Vikings, 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Here's a 1-0 set, and the pitch, fastball, hit high in the air to center field. Villarreal's there. He'll make the catch. This will get the run home. It'll be a sacrifice fly. Oh, it's a close play at the plate. Stone just in safely. So it's a sacrifice fly. I thought he was going to be in safely, but a great relay from the center fielder to Lillimone, and he made it very close at the plate. A sac fly to center field, run batted in, out number 2. for the Vikings, but to get that 5th run in, so it pays. He have a pinch runner come in for Erdman, and he comes across the score. That brings up Carson Getty. Here's a pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Jack McDonald had to hold up at second base. No chance to advance to third on that flyout. It's a sacrifice fly for Brady. Here's a pitch to Getty, and there's a little chopper out towards second. Story's got it, but nobody's covering. He's going to throw to the pitcher, but the pitcher was late in covering, so Getty's going to take advantage and get himself an infield single. McDonald goes to third base. So the Vikings catching some breaks and taking advantage of the errors for Grafton and lead at 5-0. Kylan Swenson will be the batter. Got a little exchange of baseballs here. Keena didn't like that one. Kylan Swenson, the batter, he's 1 for 2. He flew out and had an RBI single in the third and scored a run. Looking to extend this lead. Here's a pitch, fastball, swing and a miss. Graham Hess would be next.
And you guys did so much picking on Kylan when Michael was up here, but I want everybody to know just how awesome Kylan is. Yeah, I know you were joking, but he is an excellent athlete and such a strong, hard worker.
And here's a fastball that gets away from the catcher. Getty's going to be able to reach second base. I think what happened there is the catcher and the umpire and the batter probably blocked that view because it skipped away kind of at an angle from the catcher, and I don't think Coach Almaris or McDonald could see that the ball skipped away. But Getty could from where he was able to get out to second base. And here's a pitch, fastball. This one's in the dirt, and this is going to get away, and McDonald sees that, and he's going to come across the score anyway. Getty to third. McDonald scores on the wild pitch. So again, the Vikings taking advantage of the mistakes, and that caught the catcher, Cruiser Burns, in the left arm. He's in a little bit of pain here. His coach comes out to talk to him. The count is 2-1 to Kylan Swenson. So, Wendy, the Kindred Vikings have a 6-0 lead on Celebration of Champions night, and we're getting to talk to some young men up here that were part of those championship teams, and we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, more to come, and there is a display going on. Like I said earlier, a table out in the patio over by concessions, and a lot of shade in the stands, so you can come out and take a look at the display and read a little bit about the history, baseball history that's always happening here in Kindred, always making history. That's what we're doing here, right?
Absolutely. Carson Getty on at third base. 3 more runs scored here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kindred Vikings lead it 6-0. Grafton post 41. Here's a set in the pitch by Keena. This is a fastball down low.
We should let everybody know we're going to take some pictures, too, some group pictures, single pictures of those fellas after this game, between games, and also a celebration of Legion Baseball just being 100 years old. It is their birthday this season.
Here's a 3-1. Fastball outside. He walked him.
There'll be a centennial tournament going on in the birthplace of Legion Baseball, Millbrant, South Dakota.
Not to correct you, but Millbank.
Millbank, sorry.
Millbank, South
sorry, what
Dakota,
I say?
Millbrant.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, we get,
sorry.
you have.
I know, yep.
Well, and we do have Coach Millbrant.
Millbank.
I don't know if he's here tonight, but he did coach American Legion Baseball for
he is part of baseball.
some 30 years.
Yep, my wires get crossed because he is just a part of baseball, too.
Throw over to third base. Quick throw by the pitcher. It's not in time.
But, yes, Max, I did look it up. Millbank is about between Sisseton and Watertown. Take about a good 2 hours, he said, from here.
Here's Graham Hess, swings and fouls one. Mighty cut by Graham Hess, fouls it back out of play.
And then, of course, the state tournament, State Legion tournament, is going to be hosted over by our friends in Castleton. They'll be hosting the state tournament, State Legion tournament for Class A later on this month.
Here's a pitch to Hess. He fouls another one. Graham has walked and had an RBI single. That was back in the third. Has a chance here to extend this lead. It's a 6-0 lead for the Vikings. Here's a set by the lefty Keena. Fastball swinging a ground ball towards the hole. It's in the hole. Knocked down by Lillimone. Mainly because his arms are about 2.5 miles long. And he's able to knock that one down. But
he's got some good stretch.
Yeah, he's a good solid shortstop. There's no way for him to field that ball, but just the fact that he got to that ball and knocked it down and prevented Kylan Swenson to get over to third base. So it's a base hit, RBI single for Graham Hess. Sawyer Hess, I believe, will run again for him. Yes, he will do that. And there is a coaching visit to the mound, and it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. So we'll get a break, and we'll tell you all about the defensive changes when we come back on yourliveevent.com.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial, sales, and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Varsity Field, where Kindred is hosting Grafton tonight. We want to remind you to stick around for the postgame show, the Todd Wold CPA postgame show, for any accounting requisitions from income tax planning, preparation, and consulting. For individuals or businesses, go online to wold-cpa.com. And in that postgame show, we will have the Enbridge player of the game and the HTC connection of the match.
A lot of fun here in Kindred. Here's some defensive changes for Grafton. The pitcher, Trenton Keena, will move out to center field. The center fielder, Tony Villarreal, will come in to play shortstop. And then the shortstop, Brody Lillimone, will come on to pitch. And he'll face Stanley Belaski. His first pitch is a fastball, swing and a miss by Stanley. Stanley's 0 for 2. He reached on an error and flew out. Here's the line for Keena, 3 2/3. Here's a pitch, outside, ball 1. 3 2/3 innings pitch for Trenton Keena. 7 hits allowed, 7 runs, only 3 earned. He walked 4, didn't strike anybody out. He is responsible for the runners on second and first. Here's a pitch, upstairs, 2 balls and a strike to Stanley Belaski. Vikings have batted around here. 9th man to bat. And here's a pitch from Lillimone. It's down low. 3 balls and a strike. Lillimone, tall right-handed pitcher. Where's number 18? Started the game at shortstop. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Inside, he walked him. And that loads up the bases for the Vikings. And the person that started this all was Gabe Iverson, second baseman. He laced a base hit into right field to start this 4th inning. Got a chance to collect 2 hits in 1 inning. And we got a balk. Another balk is called. And Kylan Swenson is going to come across to score. Hess moves up to third. Stanley Belaski to second. It's 8-0 in favor of the Vikings, dropping 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th. And here's a pitch, fastball up. 1 ball and no strikes, so the second balk of this inning. Here's a pitch, swing and a line drive, base hit into right field. This will drive in at least 1 run, and Belaski is going to be held up. He went about a third of the way down the line, but he's back into third base safely. So Gabe Iverson with 2 base hits this inning drives in a run as Hess comes across the score. Belaski to third, and it's 9-0 in favor of the Vikings. 8 hits now for the Vikings, and that'll bring up Max Bernier. Max is 0 for 1. He flew out to right and had a sacrifice bunt earlier this inning. That was a first out. Pitches away, ball 1. Here's the set and the pitch. Fastball laced into right field, and it's going to be right at the right fielder once again for Bernier. He lines out to right field for the third out. But the Vikings do come up with 6 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning, and they lead it 9-0. We head to the top of the 5th on yourliveevent.com.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Can't wait to celebrate you properly.
Kindred Vikings have a 9-0 lead. Grafton post 41 coming to bat. They'll send up their 5, 6, and 7 hitters. It'll be Ty Story, Kyan Burns, and Brody Lillimone to face Max Bernier. Max has been given a 9-0 lead. Top of the 5th inning. I'm Mike Bernier along with Wendy Bernier, bringing you some baseball from Kindred. Here's a pitch outside to Ty Story. He struck out looking his first time up. He's 0 for 1. And here's the set and the pitch from number 7, Bernier. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Here's the line for the starting pitcher, Trenton Keena. He goes 3 2/3, allows 8 hits, 9 runs, only 3 earned. He walked 5 and didn't strike anybody out. Here's a pitch, off speed, grounded over towards third. McDonald has it. Fires across the diamond in time. Erdman did re-enter the ball game, so he's at first base. It's a 6-3 putout. We're joined during the celebration of champions. Here's Kyan Burns to bat. He's a third baseman. He grounded out 6-3 his first time up. Here's a pitch, swing and a pop-up foul, and it's going to land foul. 0-1 the count. We're joined by Nikki Zink. Do you go by Nick or Nikki?
About 50-50. 50 at work, 50 Nikki somewhere else. So.
Yeah. Well, how's it feel to get back to the ballpark and watch some American Legion baseball?
It's good. It's definitely a lot different than the last time I was here in a very good way. So
we're joined by Nick Zink. He was during the celebration of champions. Nick Zink was a member of the 2014 Babe Ruth championship team. Here's a ground ball pounded out over to second base. Gabe Iverson has it in time for the out. 2 down quickly on the 4-3 putout. Quickly 2 out. And so what were some of your favorite memories of that championship team in 2014?
You know, I think the biggest one, I was actually back at a funeral in Carrington here a couple weeks ago. My whole family's from there, so just being in the city and winning that year with all my relatives, and Grandpa actually attended back then when he was still alive, so just, you know, the entire atmosphere, and obviously my teammates I'm still buds with today here, so there are a lot of good memories.
Well, you got walk-up music played by Eric Iverson, the father of Gabe Iverson, the second baseman. And Coach Almaris pointed this out. He said that you had one of the most memorable walk-up songs your senior year in Legion baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what that was?
I was working on a railroad.
Yep, that's what it says here. And he asked me, do you care to explain yourself on that one?
Well, that summer out of high school, I got put to work for the first time, and my dad worked for Red River Valley and Western Railroad out in Wahpeton, and they'd have a station just in town here. And so I worked as a laborer that summer, and I thought it was a pretty cool gig when I wasn't pounding railroad ties in and everything. So it was, I think it was destiny that I just had my anthem come up like that, and nothing flashy, just kind of people that raised their eyebrows. What the heck is that? So
it must have been a good one and very memorable. A 3-1 pitch is thrown to Lillimone. He throws his bat over towards the third base dugout, but it's a called strike, and it's a full count. So Lillimone steps in there. Now here's a pitch from Bernier. Fastball, swing and a pop-up. It's going to be out of play. So Bernier has set down 8 in a row since he gave up a single to this man, Brody Lillimone. He's got a full count. We're joined by Nick Zink, or Nicky Zink, depending on which side of the 50-50 you're on. Here's the 3-2. Behind him, he walked him. So Lillimone is the only batter that's reached, and he's reached twice now against Bernier. It's a 9-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings. So Lillimone is the pitcher, so he'll have a courtesy runner here. Let's see what number he is. I see number 4, I believe. Easton Hansel will come in to pinch run. So sounds like you're a busy man, Nick. You haven't been back much. Talk about how much the facility and the area has changed since you graduated in 2017.
Yeah, I think the year that I left was really when the dugouts started to get updated, but then obviously everything followed beyond that. So it looks completely different, and it's been now almost 10 years here. So there's been a lot that's changed, but it's a beautiful facility. I wish it would have happened when I was younger, but it's certainly nice to come back and see the improvements. It just shows the community is behind the baseball team, and still a lot of familiar faces here as well. So it's good to just see a community built around the baseball team.
Well, as a parent of a couple of kids that play in Kindred Youth Baseball, we like to thank you because you helped build this stadium. You had some success here, you had some championship teams, and you were a part of a lot of baseball out here. So I'd like to thank you for that. So you helped build the stadium and get us going.
Yeah, no problem. There was certainly some scars along the ways that came up that built them, like Mr. A running us in the outfield.
Here's a little looper out in the shallow right. It's going to fall in there for a hit. Throw to first base is in time. It's not going to be a hit. It's your typical 9-3 putout. Carson Getty came up firing. Martinez blooped it in to shallow right field, and he's a designated hitter. I will say this, he's not the most fleet of foot individual. So Getty short hopped it, threw it hard over to Kelby Erdman over at first base, and recorded the out. So through 5 innings, or through 4.5 anyway, the Kindred Vikings lead this one by a score of 9-0. That's a third out. Do you mind sticking around? We'll just keep it here during the break.
Yeah.
While we're playing. And what are some of your other memories? We had Michael Hall up here, who was a part of the 2015 Babe Ruth Championship and the 2019 American Legion Championship. State championships, of course. So what do you remember? You said you went back home and you had a lot of family. Your grandfather was there. What do you remember about the guys and being at the hotel and some of those things?
Well, actually, we stayed with host families the year that we won.
Oh, okay.
So there were a couple. Actually, I think they're my distant relatives. One of the families that were there.
Yeah.
Funny enough, so we stayed like 6 people a house or so, and it was really nice because I remember specifically after the night of the championship, we were still active and playing games in the yard and whatnot, and everyone was coming down off the high of the win, and the families were great. We still my family still keeps up in touch with them when they're back in town in Carrington. They have a beautiful facility there as well, and yeah, I think that the culmination of the baseball, the community, everything was very memorable.
Outstanding. So you had a lot of fun and a lot of good memories made during those times, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
So what are your memories of Coach Almaris?
How long do we got?
Yeah.
No, I think I tell anybody that brings up a coach in high school or college, whatever. I think Mr. A comes to mind more than anybody else. Just the intensity that he has and how serious he takes the game and really gets to know the players. And I don't know, he had a big impact on me. And I remember specifically my senior year summer, that when I was debating on going working on the railroad or playing baseball, he worked our schedules around, and I got to do both with a couple guys, work and play baseball. So I thought that was pretty cool of him to make an exception like that. So
when you talk about working on the railroad, what are you doing nowadays? What are you up to?
I work at Butler Machinery in sales, so I've been there like 5 years. I had an internship there in college, so just bounced around a few positions after that. And
there's a ground ball over to first. Beautiful play by the shortstop. The new shortstop, Tony Villarreal, backhands it a la Derek Jeter, jumps up and throws him out. A bouncing throw over to the first baseman, Droog, but a beautiful play to get the first baseman for the Vikings, Kelby Erdman, who re-entered. So he grounds out for out number 1, but do you miss it? Do you miss the ballpark?
Yeah, I do. I tried to.
There's a line drive by McDonald and an errant throw. So McDonald is going to reach on the air, but a beautiful pick over there by third base. And here's a throw down to second base, not in time. It's going to be E5. McDonald reaches again. Kyan Burns with a beautiful pick down the third base line. And we thought we were going to have 2 beautiful defensive plays in a row, but he threw it high, way over the first baseman's head, which isn't an easy task. The first baseman, a lot of tall ball players for this Grafton team.
I airmailed it multiple times.
It happens. We're back to the top of the order. Brady Baumgarten up. He's 1 for 2, a ground out, a single, and then a sacrifice fly. And Lillimone trips and falls on the pitch. It's ball 1 with McDonald on at second base. 9-0 lead for the Vikings. The 10-run rule is in effect here. By my count, the Grafton only has the 1 hit because he was thrown out at first base. So 1-0 the count. Brady Baumgarten, the batter, swing and a miss. So have you had a chance to watch any American Legion baseball here in Kindred at all? And what do you think about the team out on the field tonight?
I haven't much since I've been out. But I think the first thing, obviously, I noticed is the facility. But
there's a throw over to first base. Another ground ball over to Burns at third. This time he throws him out. It's a 5-3 putout. Very close play. Baumgarten is ruled out. Baumgarten can run up and down this lineup. I don't know if you've watched this team much, but a lot of speedy runners for this Kindred.
Well, I think they put something in the water after we left because there's been a lot of kids on the team I think that would have played well.
Yeah. Carson Getty, the batter, he's walked, reached on a fielder's choice, scored a run, singled, then scored a run, swinging a line drive off the third base dugout.
Good siding.
What's it like to see you see Paul Quisland up here? You see Dan Nathan walking around. What's it like to see these guys again?
It's awesome. They were a part of my youth baseball experience to a T, right? I mean, multiple different teams.
There's a line drive into left field, and that's going to be the ball game. Carson Getty walks it off with an RBI single, and the Kindred Vikings lead it and win this ball game by a score of 10-0. Joined again by Nick Zink. 2014 Babe Ruth State Championship. Any final thoughts for us, Nick?
I just love to see the community in this place, and I think there's a heck of a team on the field right now, and it's just really good to be back. So.
Well, it's good having you up here, and nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I know I saw you play a couple of times, but I don't think I've ever came up and talked to you, but very nice joining us, and congratulations
Yep.
on that celebration of champions. And again, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll take a break on yourliveevent.com.
Halstead Telephone Company delivers fast broadband internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halstead, Shelley, Neelsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argosville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halstead Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
For any accounting needs you may have, Todd, our world certified public accountant, has you covered. From income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals and businesses. Todd Wold CPA would like to wish the best to the teams competing and thank the coaches and players for their hard work and dedication throughout the season on and off the field, as anything can happen every night at the Diamond. For more information, go online to wold-cpa.com. That's wold-cpa.com. Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
And welcome back. We have our Enbridge Player of the Game. It's Max Bernier is who we voted on up here, and Mike and Wendy Bernier up here. We abstained from voting until we we let Paul Quislen and Eric Iverson vote. So Max goes out and throws a 5-inning shutout and allows only the one hit, doesn't walk anybody, strikes a couple batters out. How did it feel out on the mound tonight, Max?
It felt great. I had a wonderful defense behind me. They just made all the plays. You know, I've always been a ground ball pitcher, so just to see no errors up there, I'm really proud of my defense.
Well, you've been playing with a gentleman next to you, Gabe Iverson, who's going to be our HTC connection of the game, and we're going to talk to him shortly. But you guys have been playing baseball together for a long time.
Yeah, we have. You know, and Gabe just makes every single play that's hit to him. So
it's a lot of fun watching you guys play. It's interesting enough that we had some interviews today for the celebration of champions, 2014 and 15 Babe Ruth Championship, State Championship, American Legion Championship from 2019. We had some players that came up here and they coached some of you guys back in the day. Michael Hall said he coached Gabe and had a lot of fun. So Max, you get the win. You're our Enbridge Player of the Game. You go the 5 innings. You throw a 1-hit shutout, and don't walk anybody.
Walked one.
Did you?
I had a 1 walk in the end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we marked it down. Yeah, we were interviewing Nick Zink at the time, so we kind of missed that walk. And you're the Player of the Game. Not only did your defense play well behind you, but they supported you with a lot of runs.
Yeah, a lot of runs were scored, a lot of hits, 10 hits on the day. Couldn't be prouder of my offense there. I got a great guy here. What did he go today, 2 for 3?
Yeah, he 2 for 3, and he's going to be our connection of the game. So why don't you hand the headset over to Gabe here, and we'll talk to him. He's our HTC connection of the game. Gabe, you popped up your first time up. You had a runner on third. Could tell you're a little frustrated a little bit because you wanted to drive in that first run of the ball game.
Yeah.
But then you come up to start the fourth inning. You lace a base hit into right field, and you start things out, and you come around to score. In that same inning, you come up and get an RBI single. So how did it feel at the plate today?
Yeah, it felt really good. The bat was feeling hot, and after that first AB, I kind of needed to be disciplined, and then they're first up to bat, so I was like, got to start something off here. I had a full count, I think, and Mr. A was like, let's go be a leader here, and I was like, well, I got to put it in play and get on bag for my team. And then who was up after me? I think it was Max, Kelby?
No, you're right, Max Bernier.
Max, and then they drove me in, and I got home, which was really big.
Yeah, good game out in the field as well. You made some nice defensive plays, especially that first batter. A line drive, kind of you backhanded it on the leadoff hitter, and you threw him out at first. Good defense by the Kindred Vikings tonight.
Yeah, Jack had a great play, and Stanley did too. Everyone in the whole field was playing great. It's a great team effort.
It's good to you won a couple games against Wahpeton last night. Now you come out and you get a big win tonight.
Yeah, feels great. Hopefully we can keep playing how we are and pick each other up.
They're doing some PA announcements for the celebration of champions, and they're introducing some of the ball players. It's got to be fun to watch some of this.
Yeah, this is really cool.
So I coached you kids when you're, 6, 7 years old, from T-ball all the way up the rookies, peewees level, and now you're both taller than me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, and we're going to take a break, and we just had our player of the game from Enbridge and our HTC connection to the game. It's Gabe Iverson, it's Max Bernier, and thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Alsted Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Number 14, third baseman, Jack Green.
Welcome back, everybody. We didn't get the camera spun around to the field. Here, let me do that quick. There we go. Welcome for game 2. Kindred here hosting Grafton tonight. We just finished up the first game and did, in between games, we did a celebration of past champions. So a little bit of a scramble to get down, take all the pictures. We're getting those printed, and game 2 is already kicked off.
Gabe Iverson on the mound for the Kindred Vikings with his battery mate Sawyer Hess doing the catching. The first batter was shortstop number 4, Easton Hansel. He popped up to third base to Tyler Grunwald for out number 1. Now batting is Jack Green, the third baseman. Still kind of scribbling in lineups in between pitches. It's a 1-0 count. Gabe Iverson the pitch, fastball in the dirt, ball 2. It'll be Easton Hansel who popped out, Jack Green and Cam Frazier to bat for Grafton in the top of the first inning. Next pitch is in there for a strike. And this ball is chopped foul up the third baseline. And the count rolls along. In fact, it fills up the count. It's full. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gabe Iverson picks up his first strikeout of the game.
All right, and we got the box score all going. We're in the first inning of the second game here tonight. I'm all caught up for the moment.
And that'll bring up Cam Frazier, the designated hitter. Vikings win the first game by a score of 10-0. And here's a pitch, swinging a pop foul, out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. Max Bernier was the Enbridge player of the game, and then we had Gabe Iverson as the HTC connection of the game. Here's a swing and a ground ball. Gabe Iverson is going to pick it up, fire across the diamond, in time, a 1-2-3 inning for Gabe Iverson. And at the end of a half an inning, we're tied at 0. Vikings coming to bat in the bottom of the first.
And we should say that we abstained from voting on that one, and the rest of the press box weighed in on that. Just trying to be a little objective here tonight, but we do love him. We're proud of him. So welcome back to, or stick around for more of game 2 tonight.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Express Lane Marathon in Kindred is your neighborhood convenience store where convenience meets quality, whether you're fueling up with Marathon's top-tier fuel or grabbing a quick snack. Express Lane has you covered. From hot stuff pizza, smash hit subs, premium soft serve ice cream, gas, diesel, and propane exchange. Make sure to use your Marathon app and get 7 cents back per gallon all summer long. Now offering premium 91 non-ethanol fuel. Express Lane is your friendly and locally owned convenience store.
Welcome back, everybody, to game 2 tonight, where Kindred is hosting Grafton. This is a 5-inning game. The second one will be, and we also celebrated past champions this evening. So there was a nice display out in the patio yard, and took a group picture down behind home plate here between games, and hustled up and down the steps and had players of the games and all the things going on.
Yeah, very good job of interviews. Both Nikki Zink and
Michael Hall.
Michael Hall did an awesome job.
And if you go back and watch game 1 too, Michael talked about that their rivalry with the Jets, and he gave his memories of that moment. And then they actually had audio between games. They played the play-by-play of that last couple moments of that game, and so that was pretty cool. Everybody stood out on the field and relived that moment in history for them. That was a really cool thing to do tonight.
Yeah, beautiful ceremony, and yeah, lots of fun. Kylan Swenson is on first base after getting hit by the pitch. He's off on the pitch. Pitch is in the dirt. Throw down to second base will not be in time. A stolen base for Kylan Swenson.
Swenson steals second.
Carson Getty, the batter, facing the right-handed pitcher, Kyan Burns, for Grafton Post 41. His battery mate is Brody Lillimone. Lillimone's done it all. He started at shortstop. He finished the game as pitcher. Now he's the catcher. Swing and a miss by Carson Getty. 2 balls and a strike to Carson Getty. Playing in left field, it'll be Kylan Swenson, Carson Getty, and Sawyer Hess. And the pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Home plate umpire is Josh Michelson, and Bob Barkley will go out on the base paths. He up behind the plate in the first game. Here's a 2-2 pitch, fastball, swing and a miss. Carson Getty goes down on strikes for out number 1.
Nope, sorry about that. I'm behind a little bit here.
That brings up number 3, catcher.
Those past champions, when they came out, they got their picture taken and they all dug a little ball out of the bucket and played a little round game of 2-ball. Got a little video of that you can find on our Facebook page later.
Pitch to Sawyer Hess is outside, ball 1. And here's the 1-0 set. He's going to step off the back of the rubber. He wants to talk to his catcher. A little bit confused as to which sign they're going to go with. Runner on second base, so you don't want to go with your typical signs. You usually go by some sort of pattern and have either the first or third sign, first, second, or third sign that you put up. And they're just discussing that right now, trying to figure out so they're not getting their sign stolen out at second base. Whatever. Sawyer Hess, the batter, 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch, fastball, swing and a foul. We've had a number of interviews tonight. Nikki Zink, we've had Michael Hall up here. Here's a pitch to Sawyer Hess from Burns. It's a breaking ball in there for a strike. 1-2 the count. Yeah. So we're joined by Matt Fryer. Matt, you were the 2014 and 2015. You were part of those state championship ball games. And how does it feel to be back in Kindred watching a little American Legion baseball?
I know it's fun to be back. I get back to town quite a bit because I still got family around here, but haven't been to a game in quite a while. So it's good to be back and see everybody.
How do you feel about the new ballpark and some of the upgrades that we've had at the stadium here?
Certainly could have imagined it back when I was playing. I remember the dirt infield and all of it. So it's quite the upgrade. Yeah, it would have been nice to play on this back in the day.
Yeah, we got the artificial turf at home plate and also on the mound and up the baselines, and that's new this year. So a lot of upgrades for the baseball field, and so it's good to have you back. So celebrating the 2014-2015 Babe Ruth Championship ball games. So we've been asking the other interviewees, what are your favorite memories of those championship runs?
I think a lot of the road trips are kind of what I remember, just traveling to away games and the tournaments, obviously state. Just spending time with the guys and, goofing around, having a good time. Then the baseball as well, so.
Yeah, well, obviously we're going to remember the championship runs and the things on the baseball field when the other guys talked about their times at either host families or in the hotels. That a lot of fun for you? A lot of good memories there?
Oh, absolutely. I specifically remember our 2015 year. There weren't enough homes in Hettinger to host all of us, so we ended up staying in a hunting lodge that a guy from around here had out there. So it was about 20 some odd people in a little hunting lodge out there shacking it for a week.
Yeah. Those are the memories that just won't go away, will they?
No, for better or worse, yeah.
There's probably some things you can't talk about on the air, but a lot of fun. So when did you think it was possible that you guys were going to go back-to-back and win those 2 championships?
I feel like we didn't really until state tournament came around, because we'd played Thompson earlier in the year, and we lost them by and large. Then tournament came around and got that first game on them, walk-off hit in that game as well, and then made our way to the championship and were able to take one from them there as well. But so maybe didn't believe it until it happened.
Yeah, in 2015, you were the hero. You drove in tying and winning runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. What do you remember about those moments and that game in particular?
I don't think I realized what had happened right away until I got to first base and turned around and saw my teammates, running out on the field to celebrate.
Here's a line drive single by Dylan Stone. And that's going to score a run. I believe they'll give the left fielder an error on that one. It's an RBI single and then an error by the left fielder. Scores a couple of runs as Kylan Swenson comes across the score. Sawyer Hess had walked, and now he scores. And just like that, the Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 2-0. Michael Hall was a good luck charm, and now we have Matt Fryer joining us, and you're the good luck charm for this ball game.
That's right.
Being a member of both championship teams, do you remember any major similarities or differences between the 2 groups?
I think just kind of the theme of the years were different in that 2014 team, it was kind of destined all along. We were kind of crushing people throughout the year. That second year, we did well in our district, obviously, and took care of business there. But then, beyond that, there were competitive teams in the state that, we had to knock off, and we were able to do that along the way. So,
Kindred Vikings lead this one by a score of 2-0. We're joined by Matt Fryer, member of the 2014 and 2015 state championship Babe Ruth teams. In 2019, you had the chance of watching your brother Andy hit the winning runs in for the Legion team. That's pretty special that both of you had major hits in both championship games. What do you remember about that moment?
I honestly don't remember if I was there or not, but but I imagine it was very similar to what I did. I think the ball went to the same direction, and the result was the same, and came home with some championships. But I guess it runs in the family. But
yeah, it's pretty special to have everybody back and have the celebration of champions. What did you think of the radio clips that we played during the intermission between the games?
No, it was very cool. Just relive those moments and kind of put yourself back in those seats back then to see what those moments were like. I don't remember any radio clips back from the 2014-15 years, but exciting stuff.
Gabe Iverson bats with a 2-2 count. Throw back to second base is not in time. Gabe Iverson bats with 1 out, runner on second base in Dylan Stone. 2-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings, bottom of the first inning. Second game of a doubleheader. Here's the pitch, fastball away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the facilities have improved, and in large part, we'd like to thank the players for starting to build some of these championship teams. And I think we have to give thanks to the players that played in those games, in those Babe Ruth championships, putting kind of Kindred on the map a little bit, and as far as baseball goes, and just starting a good tradition here in Kindred.
Yeah, no, it was great to build a foundation for the future of Kindred baseball and see where they'll take it from here.
A walk to Gabe Iverson, and then a wild pitch sends Dylan Stone over to third base. Gabe Iverson on at first, runners at first and third, 1 out. Bottom of the second inning, Tyler Grunwald will get his first plate appearance of the night. First pitch fastball is in there for a strike from the right-hander, Kyan Burns. I'd like to thank Your Live Event for bringing you these games. Do you get a chance to watch any of these games, or will you going forward?
So I do watch a lot of other sporting events, the basketball and football. I haven't watched much of the baseball, but being here and seeing, just the high level of play we have out here, I might have to start tuning in more often.
See any similarities with this American Legion baseball team than you saw back to your Babe Ruth playing days and your Legion baseball playing days?
Just very, fundamentally sound, I'd say, and I think that's attributed to, Coach Josh Almera's, just his coaching.
Line drive off the glove of the second baseman Story. It's into right field for a RBI single for Tyler Grunwald. Tough play for Story. He leaped up and couldn't quite make the play. Run comes across. It's 3-0 in favor of the Vikings. Fun to come back and see the likes of Josh O'Maris, Nick Eggman, and some of the other teammates, but also Paul Quisland, Dan Nathan up here. A lot of blasts from the past from your youth.
Oh yeah, these guys are staples of the program, and helped make it what it is today. So it's always good to get back and see these guys.
What are you doing nowadays?
I'm an attorney in Fargo. I work at ABST Law.
Okay. Here's a 1-0 set from Burns. Jeremy Knight, the batter, ground ball hard up the middle. That's a base hit, and it's going to be an RBI single. The throw does come into home, and it's not going to be in time. Gabe Iverson scores. Grunwald moves up to third on the throw, and it's an RBI single for Jeremy Knight. He does move up to second on the throw as well. 4-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings. 4 runs, 3 hits in the bottom of the third inning. Now we're going to have a coach's visit to the mound. We'll keep it right here. Joined by Matt Fryer. You got a chance to see some American Legion baseball. You got a chance to see from the American Legion. Were any of those guys teammates or friends with you from the American Legion?
Yeah, no, my brother's on the team, obviously, so those guys were always around growing up. And then some of them, their older brothers are more my age, so yeah, definitely know a bunch of those guys.
A lot of fun to see some of the teammates back here, and did you get a chance to reminisce about the old stories back in the day?
We've had a few, yeah. No, it's good. Some of those guys I haven't seen in a little while, so good to catch up and, yeah, like you said, reminisce about what we did back in the day.
Yeah, a lot of fun to be had here in the celebration of championship. Kelby Erdman will step to the plate. The coaching visit is over. Runners on second and third. Ducks around the pond for Kelby Erdman, big first baseman. Watch Kelby here. When he gets a strike, he'll take a big old hack, and there's a ground ball pounded out to the shortstop. He's got it, throws, and scooped out of the dirt by Martinez nicely on a 6-3 putout. That does get the run home. Tyler Grunwald scores. Jeremy Knight stayed at second base. It'll be an RBI for Kelby Erdman, and it's 5-0 for the Vikings. Got any shout-outs or any last words that you want to mention to anyone out there?
Oh, I'm sure my mom and my grandparents will watch this later, so I'll give them a shout-out. But I'm sure they'll appreciate that and get a kick out of it. But, yeah, just happy to be back. Happy to, reminisce on old times and happy to see, where Kindred baseball is going in the future here.
Here's a high fly ball into right center field. The ball's hit pretty well. It's going to carry and land in there. It's going to be an RBI extra base hit for Jack McDonald. He's wheeling around second on his way to third, and the throw is not in time. It's an RBI triple for Jack McDonald. Jeremy Knight scores. Your baseball playing days and your experiences, nothing more exciting than watching an RBI triple.
Yeah, no. It's doesn't happen very often. So when you get the chance to round second and go to third, you got to go for it. But
did you move on and play any college sports or move on and play any amateur baseball or anything?
No, I didn't really. I kind of just went to school, focused on that, started working at that point, and always knew I kind of wanted to go into law, so kind of just turned my sights to that. But
outstanding. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Kylan Swenson. It's outside. Kylan Swenson started this inning. He'll be the 10th man to bat. He was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored a run earlier this inning. It's 6-0 in favor of the Kindred Vikings. Here's a 1-1 upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. So here's a 2-1, swing and a foul tip. It catches the umpire's mask. Looks like Josh Michelson is okay. So do you miss the ballpark?
Yeah, no, it's always fun being out here on a summer day. Can't beat it usually. It's kind of just peaceful, relaxing, and you get to play and/or watch some baseball. So.
Well, you're always invited back. Come out and watch some Vikings baseball.
Absolutely, I'll have to do that.
Fastball is outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kylan Swenson. Carson Getty is on deck. Again, 10th man to bat for the Vikings. Bottom of first, fastball. It hit him. Hit him right in the elbow. For the second time, Kylan Swenson is hit by a pitch in this game. I don't know if you follow this team, but Kylan Swenson has set a lot of records, both in American Legion Baseball. Last year, he set the hit by pitch mark, and he's also done it in school ball. During the spring, he broke his own record. He was hit 14 times 2 years ago, and then this last year, he was hit 15 times, so he broke his own record.
Sure. That's impressive stats to have, I suppose.
He won't get out of the way.
Yeah, ball making it.
He's a competitor. He takes off for second. He's going to steal second base. That's his second steal of the ball game, of this inning, in fact. Runners on second and third. It's 6-0. Carson Getty at the plate. It's a 1-0 count. Matt Fryer joining us. Celebration of Champions. Here's a pop-up. Third base side in foul territory, and that will do it. So for the Vikings, they come up with 6 runs, pound out 4 hits. There was an error for Grafton. A couple people left on base, so a 6-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings. Matt Fryer, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming up. We'll take a break on yourliveevent.com.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial sales and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Viking Varsity Field tonight, where we are hosting Grafton, and it is the past champions celebration this evening. A lot of fun between games that we will post on the Facebook page sometime later tonight when baseball is finished, and we collect all the pictures and all the videos. Follow Kindred Youth Baseball on Facebook.
Kindred Vikings lead this one by a score of 6-0. No runs, no hits, 1 error for Grafton. Kindred Vikings, 6 runs on 4 hits, no errors. Gabe Iverson on the mound for the Kindred Vikings. He had a 1-2-3 inning. In the first, he faces the first baseman, Carson Martinez. Carson had a brilliant pick over at first base in that bottom of the first inning. Got a big out for Grafton. He fouls this one out of play. 1-1 the count to the first baseman, Carson Martinez. Looked like a breaking ball in there for a strike. 1-2 the count. Gabe Iverson throws from the stretch full time. Here's the 1-2. Fastball outside.
Last game, Gabe, was your HTC connection of the game player.
Max Bernier and Gabe Iverson came up here for interviews. It was a lot of fun. Those kids have been playing together for a lot of years.
Well, I know they have parents in the press box, and we are proud of them, but we did not vote. We always vote for him, but not for that. Yeah, so but it was pretty fun, and always proud of those boys. And so many pictures growing up, and now we got to get them all together because they're both headed into that senior year.
Here's a pitch. It gets away. Martinez is going to scamper down to second base. He's safe. I believe Martinez got on base on a walk. Here's a pitch. Fastball swing and a miss to Adrian Canta, the left fielder. Left-handed hitter, where's number 5? Here's the 0-2 set. Fastball. Just missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gabe has thrown 20 pitches thus far. Top of the second inning. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there. Strike 3. Gabe records his second strikeout. Ethan Hurst will step up. He's a right fielder. Left-handed hitter. Where's number 21? Here's a pitch. Off speed away. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Fastball down low. Gets away from Sawyer Hess momentarily, but not far enough for Martinez to advance. 2-0 the count. And the pitch, swing and a miss.
This Legion team, this is their last game before the 4th of July break, but then they are back on July 8th against the West Fargo Vets here at home. That first game of a doubleheader starts at 5:30.
Here's the 3-1 set and the delivery by Iverson, in there for a strike. Kindred Vikings win the first game by a score of 10-0. This is the second game of the doubleheader. This will be a 5-inning affair. And this pitch gets away. It's a walk. Martinez is going to be able to reach third base. I think that was a pass ball. Here's a walk to Hurst. Martinez gets over to third on the pass ball. Chase Wororovich, the center fielder. Covered a lot of ground in the outfield that first game. First pitch to him is outside, ball 1. Sawyer Hess gives a series of signs. With runners on first and third. And here's a pitch. It's a fastball down. And Ethan Hurst will move up to second base on the second pass ball of the inning. 2-0 the count to the right-handed hitter, Chase Wororovich. Here's another pitch. This one's in the dirt. It's not going to be far enough to get the runner home from third base. Didn't skip too far away from Sawyer, and he was able to track it down pretty quickly. 3-0 the count. Iverson pitching out of the stretch. Fastball down low and in the dirt. Blocked by Hess, but it is a walk to Wororovich. And that loads the bases with 1 out. Brings up the catcher, Brody Lillimone. We're going to have a coaching visit to the mound. Are you getting interviewed? Coaching visit to the mound. Josh Omeros going out to talk to his pitcher, Gabe Iverson. Bases are loaded. There's 1 out. Iverson has struck out 2 batters and walked 2. Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 6-0. No runs, no hits, 1 error for Grafton. Kindred Vikings 6 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Brody Lillimone will be the scheduled batter. Now the umpires are going to walk out to the mound here, and actually we are going to have a pitching change. So why don't we take a quick break here, and we'll be back after this on YourLiveEvent.com.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. For any accounting needs you may have, Todd R. World Certified Public Accountant has you covered. From income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals and businesses. Todd Wold CPA would like to wish the best to the teams competing and thank the coaches and players for their hard work and dedication throughout the season on and off the field, as anything can happen every night at the Diamond. For more information, go online to wold-cpa.com. That's wold-cpa.com.
And we're back. Some defensive changes for the Kindred Vikings. Kelby Erdman, the first baseman, will come on to pitch in relief of Gabe Iverson. Gabe comes out of the game. Max Bernier comes in to play first base, and he'll bat in the 5 spot for Gabe. Iverson went an inning and a third. Couple of walks, runners on base. Here's a swing and a ground ball out to short. Here's the second base for one. Stone throws over to first base. Max Bernier can't scoop it out. Runner cracks into him. Throw to the plate is in time, and Max Bernier throws him out at the plate. Couldn't scoop it out of the dirt on the double play attempt. I believe a run scored, so it's a lot of things going on there. 6-4 putout. Runner reaches on a fielder's choice. He'll get a run batted in. Will Brody Lillimone, the batter. Carson Martinez comes across a score. Ethan Hurst is thrown out at the plate on a 3-2 putout for the third out of the inning. And that ends the inning. They do come up with a run, does Grafton, in the top of the second. We'll keep it right here. This is a celebration of championships, and we're joined by Mr. John Tweet. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You were a member of the 2015 Babe Ruth Championship, and you're also a member of the 2019 American Legion A Baseball Championship, State Championship. How does it feel to be back in Kindred?
Feels pretty good. I've only gotten to see the facilities once before when I was coaching the year after 19.
Okay.
But
so you came back. You came back and did some coaching, and did you get yourself involved in any other sports after the seasons were over? Your championship runs?
I did not. I ended up just going to college at Bismarck State, but I ended up living with one of my teammates from the 19 season that played at Bismarck State, Trent Dukeshire.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Trent Dukeshire couldn't join us tonight. He must be the bullpen catcher for the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks.
Yep, he's up in Winnipeg right now.
Up in Winnipeg right now, and so yeah, he couldn't join us, but I'm sure he would have loved to be here as well. Again, you remember the 2015 Babe Ruth Championship and the 2019 American A Legion State Championship, and so what have you been doing with yourself nowadays?
I am an electrician out in Fargo right now, and pretty much just working.
Yeah, what do you think of the new facilities out here, the turf, and some of the improvements to the dugouts and the field?
Yeah, it's really nice. A lot better than what we had, but I remember tearing down the old dugouts in 19 to get it ready for this.
Yeah, I hear there's pictures of you guys out there with sledgehammers knocking the dugouts down.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. So what's some of your favorite memories from the championship runs that you had that you were a part of?
Well, in 15, I wasn't much of the player. I was on the bench doing the book. But in 19, I just remember having a lot of fun with the guys, and I was on deck for that walk-off hit by Andy Fryer.
So Andy Fryer got the job done for you. Didn't leave it up to you to make the play, but you were going to get that game-winning hit after him if he didn't make it right.
I was waving that ball, keeping it fair. That was my job.
Big win. The Friars.
Yep.
Andy and Matt are part of game-winning hits for a couple different championships for Kindred.
Yep.
celebrating the championship runs in 2014 and 15, the Babe Ruth. There's a line drive into left field. That's over the head of the left fielder. Sawyer Hess, the batter. He's the catcher. He's going to rope one all the way to the fence. He's going to go to third base, and he's going to slide in safely with a triple. Sawyer Hess, a leadoff triple. It's 6-1, Kindred Vikings ahead. It's bottom of the second inning. We're joined by John Tweet. You played second base and outfield for those championship teams?
Yep. Rotated depending on who was pitching, if I was at second or if I was in the outfield. But
so we've talked to a number of people that have been a part of the championships, and we talked about some of your favorite memories. What are your favorite memories of those championship runs when you traveled out of state, and where did you stay? What kind of hotels? And I hear something about a hunting shack.
yeah, we stayed at a hunting lodge just outside of Hettinger for that Babe Ruth championship in 15. But for Legion, we just stayed at hotels, or a hotel in Bismarck.
Here's a line drive by Dylan Stone. It's going to go over the center fielder's head. It's going to score a run. Now Dylan Stone's wheeling it for third base, and it's going to be safe, and I believe that's another triple. So back-to-back triples. Back-to-back triples in an American Legion game. You just don't see that often, eh, John?
Nope, not often.
But it sure is fun to watch. A couple of triples in this ball game, back-to-back. That's a third triple for the Vikings. Jack McDonald had one. Sawyer Hess started off this third inning with one. Now Dylan Stone triples. Now Dylan Stone is 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. And that brings up Max Bernier. He didn't start the ball game. He came in to play first base when Kelby Erdman left first base to go be the relief pitcher last inning. Here's a pitch from Burns. Fastball, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes the count. John Tweet joining us, celebration of championships. Tell us more about that hunting shack outside of Hettinger.
Well, I remember I got the couch, and a couple of us had the couch. Michael Hall had the beanbag, and there was one big bunk room that most of the guys stayed in.
So there's probably some stories you can't really tell on the air, but I'm guessing you guys had a lot of fun and made a lot of memories along the way.
Yeah, we sure did.
RBI single for Max Bernier. That scores Dylan Stone. Makes it an 8-1 ball game.
You remember the mouse eating through the AC in that house?
Here's a high drive into center field. That'll be the first out of the inning. Tyler Grunwald hit it hard right at the center fielder, and there's one out. So it's good to come back to the ballpark. We talked about the improvements on the field, but how does it feel to come back and shoot the breeze with the likes of Dan Nathan, Paul Quislin? A lot of fun?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Also a lot of fun seeing the guys I haven't seen probably since that state championship.
Yeah, a lot of fun to reminisce about some of the stories. I heard Dan Nathan saying something about a mouse eating through the air conditioner and causing some issues for you.
Yeah, I personally don't remember that, but but I'm sure it happened.
Jeremy Knight is a batter. Max Bernier on first base. Knight had an RBI single and scored a run. Here's a foul pop out of play. So John Tweet joining us. Remember the 2000, was it the 15?
Yep.
2015 Babe Ruth Championship, 2019 American Legion Championship. Here's a high fly ball foul down the left field line. Andy Fryer will be next. We'll talk to Andy Fryer. We talked to his brother Matt earlier. John Tweet joining us for right now. What do you like to see about this Kindred Ball Club, this American Legion Ball Club that you're seeing now?
Well, I know Coach Olmeris runs a tight ship, and he teaches it very well, teaches the game, how to play it right. That hasn't changed since I've been here.
Lillimone, the catcher, tries to pick off Max Bernier at first base. It sails over Martinez's head at first base, so Bernier will reach second base on the throwing error by the catcher. First error for either team. Burns on the mound for Grafton, facing Jeremy Knight. 8-1 lead for the Kindred Vikings. And here's a 2-2 pitch. It's in the dirt. It's going to skip away from the catcher. Lillemon throws down to third base. And it's not in time, and Bernier reaches third base safely. Jeremy Knight, tremendous power at the plate. Likes to get those arms extended, looking to drive in a run here. Here's a 3-2 set, and the pitch. Breaking ball, pounded foul. Nick Eggman. Were you teammates with Nick?
I was, both years.
Nick Eggman is the first base coach in this game. Fields that one cleanly. Here's a pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Jeremy Knight goes down on strikes. Second out of the inning brings up Kelby Erdman. He's now the pitcher, started the game at first base. He's 0 for 1, had a ground out RBI back in the first. Bottom of the second inning. Kindred Vikings again lead at 8-1. Kelby Erdman at the plate. Where's number 15? How's the jersey game? How do you like these new jerseys that we just got last week?
They look pretty sharp. Remember, we were one of the first groups to have an American-themed jersey. I'm sure I got mine somewhere in my closet.
Here's a line drive into center field. That's a base hit for Kelby Erdman. He temporarily gets by the center fielder, but he has plenty of time to fire it back in. But an RBI single for Kelby Erdman drives in his second run of the ball game. Max Bernier comes across the score, making it 9-1, and that brings up Jack McDonald. Kelby Erdman, the pitcher, he's going to have a courtesy runner for him. It'll be Stanley Belaski. So it was 2019 that you started the American League, or the American-style jerseys?
I think it might have been the year before, but we carried them over to that year as well.
Here's a pitch, fastball fouled at the plate by Jack McDonald. He had the first triple of the ball game for the Vikings. That was in the first. And then this inning, Sawyer Hess started off with the triple, then Dylan Stone followed with his own triple. Strike 2 called to Jack McDonald. Any last words that you want to talk about? Any shout-outs or anything like that?
Shout out to my parents and Derek Hushka out back. And that's about it, I suppose.
Are you having a good time? You getting a chance to reminisce about stories back with the other players?
Yep, lots of stories going on in the clubhouse.
Okay. Here's a swing and a foul by Jack McDonald.
My favorite memory of the 2019 championship was probably me winning both coin tosses to get us home field advantage for both those games.
Outstanding. So what did you pick?
I believe I did tails both times. Tails never fails.
Tails never fails. Jack McDonald hits another one to the fence. He's going to round second and stop there. He's going to have an RBI double. Belaski, the pinch runner, comes around to score, the courtesy runner. That makes it 10-1 in favor of the Vikings. Now, I think every time we've had an interview, we've poured on runs. So you guys have been good luck charms coming up here every single time.
Well, good thing you got Andy coming up next. Keep it rolling.
Kylan Swenson's the batter. He's been hit by a couple of pitches. No shock there. He's been hit by a pitch twice. He stole a couple of bases. Did score one time. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Here's a high fly ball into right field. And that'll be the inning as Kylan Swenson flies out to right. And that ends the inning. Vikings do come up with 4 runs in the bottom of the second inning. John Tweed, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you, and we'll take a break on yourliveevent.com.
Yeah, a little bit.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From break-in tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Kindred Vikings on top by a score of 10-1. Kelby Erdman on to pitch for the Kindred Vikings. He came on in relief in the second inning for Gabe Iverson. Kind of an odd play to end that inning. The batter reached on the fielder's choice. It was a ground ball to the shortstop, flip over to second, on over to first. Max Bernier couldn't scoop it out of the dirt to complete the double play, but was able to recover in time to throw the runner out at the plate. That ended the top of the second inning. They did get a run on that play to make it 10-1. Kelby Erdman on to pitch here in Kindred. Off speed is fouled down the right field line, and it lands safely foul. Strike one, and we're joined by Andy Fryer. Your brother was on the air with us earlier. No pressure, but everybody else has been a good luck charm that's came up here and interviewed. So.
All right, well, I hope I can do the same.
And you were a member of the American Legion Class A state championship team in 2019. You kind of had a big hit. Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. We had to double dip them there in Bismarck against the Fargo Jets, and yeah, first game was close, and second game came down to the wire again. I was up to bat in the bottom of the seventh, and yeah, took advantage of it.
And what happened there? What was the pitch? And do you remember the pitch? And you were a left-handed hitter, correct?
Yep. I believe, if I remember right, they just changed pitchers, so I was the first batter to face him. I think it was just fastball, and pushed it down the left field line. And yeah, Coach Dean was working with me all year, pushing the ball. I like to pull it, and he worked with me on pushing it, and I was able to do it.
All right, so you win the 2019 state championship. What are some of your best memories of that championship run?
Yeah, besides the win, obviously, just hanging with the guys, that's always a good time. You get road trips, staying at hotels, bus rides. I forget if we took a bus or if we took Suburbans that year, but no, just hanging with the guys, joking around, having a good time.
Yeah, a lot of stories. You hear a lot of the stories about the hotel stays and host families and things like that. Where did you guys stay for the Legion Championship run?
I may forget. I think it was the one with the slide, whatever one that is. We hit that late at night. I remember that. And, yeah, we just stayed up probably all night, probably too late, and drove back in the morning.
Those are some of the best memories that you share. It's like you mentioned, the bus rides and the hotel stays. And you're always talking about baseball, but hopefully you have some time for some fun off the field and giving a chance here to celebrate that and reminisce about some of those stories with the other guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's picked right up where we left off on those bus rides and whatnot. We're joking around back here in the clubhouse. So.
And you played last in 2019, and so what do you think of the improvements at the ballpark?
No, it's awesome. Forgetting what all, I think we started a few things while I was still here. But then, yeah, I live right behind the baseball field over here, so every time I come home, I see something new, it seems like, every time.
Did you get involved with coaching or anything else after your baseball playing days?
I did not. Got a couple buddies, Mike and Heggie, that have done some of those things, but no, I never got into those things.
Easton Hansel goes down on strikes. Kyle Burns is on first after a walk. He does have a courtesy runner for him. I didn't catch the number, but he did steal second base. It looks like Cruiser Burns was a courtesy runner. He steals second base. Runner on second, 1 out, top of the third inning. We're joined by Andy Fryer. You had your brother Matt Fryer on earlier, and you both had game-winning hits in different championship games. So tell us about that and how it's kind of interesting to kind of share that story with your brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe it was in Hettinger when he hit his. I was there watching, pumped up from the sidelines, and then 4 years later, I got a chance to do it myself, and it was a good time. I don't think he was there though for mine.
Yeah. Wasn't there cheering you on?
No.
Well, he did give you a little bit of shout out. I understand you have a shout out of your own.
I guess so. I heard he shouted out Mom, so I suppose I got to shout out Mom, Grandma, Grandpa, Dad. They're all here tonight.
Oh, yeah. Fryer family, obviously prominent in the sports world here in Kindred, and a lot of brothers and sisters getting involved in a lot of different championship runs.
Yep, and they're always around to support us, so thankful for them. Yeah.
3 days later, we're in Waupun, Wisconsin.
Okay, so you win the championship game, and a couple days later, you're in Wisconsin. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was a long bus ride. I know that much. And then, we get to Waupun. There's not much going on there, but we played some baseball. We watched a semi-truck parade that came right by our hotel. There was no going to bed that night till that was over. But no, it was a good time. Another trip that we could, take as a team and goof around and have a good time.
Burns will get down to third, and Cam Frazier, after being hit by the pitch, he'll get down to second base on the pass ball. Carson Martinez, the batter, he walked and scored a run his first time up. Swings and chops on over towards third. Tyler Grundwald, I should say, throws over to Max Bernier in time for the out. Do you have time to stick with us here?
Yeah, I sure do.
Here, we'll keep it right here. Grafton does not score any runs. And we head to the bottom of the third, and the Kindred Vikings lead at 10-1. I hear Paul Quisland over here kind of in the background. I'm trying to pick up on some of the stories, just kind of shouting over to you and leading you on to some of the things. You're in Wisconsin, and that was for the regionals?
Yeah, so I believe, if I remember right, the state champion team of Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin, and then us, North Dakota. Yep, and they all get to go down and play another tournament. It was a good time. Didn't go as well as we wanted in baseball wise, but we still had a good time as a team.
Yeah, you were still there and got to experience all the state championships and everything else. So, new pitcher for Grafton. Didn't catch his number. It is number 1. It is Chase Wororovich. He's the center fielder. He'll come on to pitch for Grafton. He's a lefty. He'll face a 2, 3, and 4 hitters: Carson Getty, Sawyer Hess, and Dylan Stone. So I'm sure you got guys waiting downstairs. So any last words as we let you go here and get back to the celebrating your championship runs?
Yeah, no, just excited to be back. Thankful for the organization, the program, to bring us back and kind of celebrate us. Thankful for that, and excited to see how they do the rest of the season. I'll be paying attention.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And nice to see you again, and good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. New pitcher. Thanks to Andy Fryer joining us on the Celebration of Champions. New pitcher is Chase Wororovich, left-hander. I'm Mike Bernier, joined by Wendy Bernier.
Yes.
Wendy, a lot of fun.
I'm
a lot
back.
Of baseball
There's a
tonight.
lot of stuff going on tonight behind the scenes. So if you want to get a glimpse at behind the scenes, I'm trying to capture all of that so we can put out some pictures and some memories from today of our celebration of all of these past champions, and also follow along with the game that's happening right in front of us.
Yes, you're working hard. You're getting us more interviews, unexpected interviews, but it's been great.
It's
Every
fun.
one of them have come up here and been nothing but good luck charms and giving good shout-outs to Kindred Youth Baseball and, of course, their parents, which is awesome to hear.
I can't forget Mom.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Mom needs a shout-out
Yeah.
every time. But, yeah, the between games, they all came out, and we took a picture of them, and thanks to 1 hour photo, they're going to have that before they leave the ballpark tonight. Nice group photo of all of them.
Yeah, you're running around getting interviews set up. You're taking pictures. And
I'm not the one running to Walmart right now, though.
here's a ground ball over to second base, Story. He'll throw him out. It's a 4-3 putout. Carson Getty, the batter. He's now 0 for 3. That'll bring up Sawyer Hess. He walked and scored a run in the first and tripled in the second inning and scored a run. 10-1 lead. Kindred Vikings. Here's the set and the pitch. Fastball down, ball 1. Grafton with 1 run, we think. Game Changer does not have a run on it. I'm pretty sure they did score that run. No hits and 1 error. Kindred Vikings with 10 runs, 9 hits, no errors. And here's the set. And the pitch. Fastball is up to Sawyer Hess. 3-0 the count. Dylan Stone awaits on deck. Here's a lefties. Pitch. Off speed is up. He walked him. Sawyer Hess is on for the 3rd time. Let's see if they have a courtesy runner for Sawyer. He is the catcher. You can courtesy run for the pitchers and catchers. Looks like he'll stay in there. Dylan Stone will come to the plate. He's 2 for 2. 2 at-bats, 2 runs scored, 2 hits, 2 runs batted in. That's his line for the day. Had an RBI single and an RBI triple. Now here's a pitch, wild pitch, and Sawyer Hess will scamper down to second. Chase Wororovich on the mound, 1-out count. To Dylan Stone, swinging a foul at the plate, caught his left foot on the foul ball. Thankfully for Dylan Stone, didn't hit him too hard, kind of caught him in the heel. 1-1 the count. Congratulations to all the championship teams and the celebration of champions, all the guys that came up here to do the interview. Here's a pitch up. 2 balls and a strike. Max Bernier on deck. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Fastball. In there for a strike. Throw down to third is not in time. It scales out into left field, and Sawyer Hess is going to come across the score. And that's the ball game. Sawyer Hess steals third base. Comes across the score on the error by the catcher, and the Kindred Vikings win this one by a score of 11-1. And we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with a Todd Wold CPA postgame show after this on yourliveevent.com.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial sales and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered. servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Halstead Telephone Company delivers fast broadband internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halstead, Shelley, Neilsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argusville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halstead Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kindred Varsity Field, where Kindred just ended a doubleheader with Grafton on your past champions celebration night. We had some past champions here in the booth and pictures and all the things going on, and a big display out in the patio tonight too. So a fun night celebrating our past champions with a good couple of games where Kindred came out on top.
In this game, they won it by a score of 11-1. Dylan Stone is our player of the game, our Enbridge player of the game. He was 2 for 2 with an RBI single and a run scored, and then an RBI triple and a run scored. So he's our Enbridge player of the game. And we're going to go with our connection of the game, our HTC connection of the game. We're going to give that to Jack McDonald. He goes 2 for 2 as well. He has an RBI triple and a double in this ball game, so he was 2 for 2 with a couple of runs knocked in. A lot of fun here tonight. 11-1 win for the Kindred Vikings. And they win both ends of a doubleheader. Kelby Erdman will get the win for the Kindred Vikings. Erdman came on in relief. He goes an inning and 2/3. Doesn't allow any hits. Walked one, struck out a couple of batters. He'll pick up the win on your Todd Wold CPA postgame show.
Yeah, for any accounting requisitions from income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals or businesses, go online to wold-cpa.com. And for the player of the game, the Enbridge player of the game, because life takes energy. Enbridge, energy for life, enbridge.com for career opportunities. And your connection of the match brought to you by HTC. Discover local reliability you can trust. Halstead Telephone, it's how to connect. HalsteadTel.com.
Kindred Vikings win a couple of ball games tonight, and we'll end our broadcast. It's been fun on the celebration of championships. Congratulations to all those teams, and it was a lot of fun.
And a happy 4th of July, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you back here for Legion Baseball next week.